Welcome back to all the students. In today's video lecture, we are going to continue with the topic of asexual reproduction. In the previous lecture, we had discussed the binary fission type of asexual reproduction. In today's video lecture, we are going to discuss asexual reproduction, multiple fission. Okay, so the name, just like the previous topic, binary fission, multiple fission itself, the name itself is telling you the entire story. In binary fission, what happened? That one amoeba is getting divided into two daughter amoebulae. Okay, and in multiple fission, one amoeba is going to divide into multiple amoebulae. Okay, one amoeba is going to divide into multiple amoebulae. So if the binary fission was occurring perfectly, why the amoeba needs another reproductive method? Why? So there is a simple answer to this question: why the amoeba is carrying out the multiple fission process, why it's not following the conventional binary fission right now. Because it is facing some adverse condition, and it's a kind of a survival plan for amoeba and other protists in adverse conditions, right? Okay, so let's get started with the topic. So before starting the topic, let me tell you that we had already started online classes for you people, where you can join us for one topic. If you are having difficulty, if you are facing any difficulty in biology's any topic, if you want to join us for one topic, you can join us for one topic. If you want to learn from us entire lesson, so you can join us for entire lesson as well. And if you want to continue with us with the DNA Biology Institute for the entire syllabus, whatever syllabus you are learning for 10th, for 12th, 11th, CET, and even NEET biology, so you can continue with us for the entire syllabus. We are going to discuss every single detail, and we are going to elaborate everything, and you will be given perfect notes as well. And the tests will be based upon the state boards papers. Yes. Okay, so let's get started with the topic. Multiple fission. So multiple fission is a type of asexual reproduction. Obviously, asexual reproduction, keep in mind whenever you hear this term asexual reproduction, you should be knowing that asexual reproduction, it will have only one parent organism. Okay, it will have only one parent organism, and it won't be involving any gametes, let them be sperm or oocyte. No gametes are involved in asexual reproduction. Okay, so multiple fission is a type of asexual reproduction, which clearly means that there is only one organism. At the same time, there are no gametes involved. One parent organism produces many daughter organisms, and that's why the name multiple fission is given. Okay, it is seen in amoeba. We all know what amoeba is. Amoeba and other similar protists. Okay, other similar protists like paramecium and euglena and many other protist organisms are there, which are belonging to kingdom Protista. So many other protists and amoeba shows this type of reproduction method of multiple fission. Okay, in which one parent organism divides into multiple, many daughter organisms. Right here, as you can see, one amoeba is dividing into many amoeba. So the question arises here that when the binary fission method is available to the amoeba or any other protist, why it is following another, a much difficult process of reproduction? Why? There is a simple answer to that question. Okay, binary fission is performed when the conditions are favorable. Binary fission is performed when the conditions are under control, when the conditions are ideal for growth and reproduction. But multiple fission is a backup mechanism. Multiple fission is a survival mechanism for protists, for amoeba. Multiple fission in amoeba occurs when adverse conditions are there, when the environment is at the adverse condition, when the temperatures are high, when the food is not available in plenty amount. So at that point of time, when amoeba feels that he is not going to survive for a longer period of time because the temperatures are very high or very low, when amoeba feels that he is not going to survive for a very long duration because the food is not available or water is declining, the lake is drying up, in those conditions amoeba follows a different kind of reproduction method, and that reproduction method is multiple fission. Okay, so the condition for multiple fission is the adverse condition in the environment. Okay, multiple fission is not going to happen in ideal condition, in normal condition, in controlled conditions. All right, when the temperatures are normal, when there is plenty of food and water available for amoeba, in those conditions amoeba will always follow the binary fission method. But in case of adverse condition, if certain chemicals, he senses some certain chemicals are there, if the amoeba senses that there is a loss of there is very lack of water or food in the surrounding, in those conditions amoeba will actually follow the process of multiple fission. Okay, so the unfavorable conditions in the environment are responsible for multiple fission. So let's get started with the first step of multiple fission. It's not like that amoeba is like trying to separate out and it is separating and it is forming a furrow and then amoeba is getting separated into two daughter amoebas. Okay, it's not that easy in case of multiple fission. Multiple fission is comparatively a difficult process for amoeba. So during adverse condition, what happens amoeba? First of all, it stops the formation of pseudopodia. Now, if you don't know what pseudopodia is, you can just write it down in the comment and I will try my best to explain what pseudopodia is. All right. I hope you already know what pseudopodia is. Okay, so amoeba first of all stops the formation of pseudopodia. So these formations, as you can see, the outgrowths of amoeba, these are called pseudopodia. There is a whole lot of detail to this pseudopodia, the name and the concept and the meaning, exact meaning of the term. If you want, we can discuss that as well. Just drop your question if you don't know pseudopodia in the comments. Okay. So the first step of formation of multiple fission, the process of multiple fission, that is the pseudopodia formation gets stopped. Okay, so we know the fact. Now you just look at the diagram here. All right, if the amoeba is forming pseudopodia, it's looking like this. If the amoeba stops the formation of pseudopodia, obviously amoeba will look like this. It will look like somewhat circular, somewhat rounded. Okay, and when it stops the movement, obviously because these pseudopodia are responsible for the movement of amoeba, and when the pseudopodias are gone, can amoeba move from one place to the other? Obviously not, because the pseudopodia, the parts, you can say the outgrowths which are responsible for the movement of amoeba, they are not there. Okay, it has stopped the formation of those pseudopodia, so amoeba cannot move. It stops the movement. Okay, and when adverse conditions continue, when the adverse conditions continue even more after after formation of pseudopodia has stopped and it becomes rounded, even when the adverse conditions are continuing, amoeba becomes rounded. First of all, forms a protective covering around its plasma membrane. This is a very important step here. Very important step here. What's going on here? That amoeba is forming a protective covering around itself, around its cell, and that protective covering is called as a cyst. Okay, the encysted amoeba is called as a cyst. The entire structure now is called as a cyst. Okay, so let's get it clear. Let's get the path clear. The adverse condition arised, then amoeba sensed it. Amoeba stopped the formation of the pseudopodia. It became rounded. The movement has been stopped now, and now the amoeba is forming a protective covering around its cell. And this whole structure with the protective covering and the amoeba cell inside, this whole structure is called as a cyst. Okay, cyst may have different meanings at different occasions. Okay, right now we have to take the meaning of cyst so that the amoeba is inside the protective covering. Now what's happening inside the cyst? The nucleus undergoes repeated nuclear division. Now understand this fact that there is only nuclear division at this step, at the first primary step. Okay, the cyst is there. Inside that cyst, one amoeba cell, and amoeba divides its nucleus. It starts dividing its nucleus. As you can see in the diagram, the cyst is right over here, the protective covering, and the nucleus is over here. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 multiple nuclei have been formed up until now. Okay, so many nuclei have been formed right now. So as a result, one nucleus, repeated nuclear division, then many nuclei are formed. Okay, so now what is the condition? There is a cyst, there is an amoebalized cell inside, amoeba cell inside, and that cell is containing multiple nucleuses. Remember, the cell has not yet been divided. Okay, it has not yet been divided. Only the nucleus has been divided up until now, right? So there is only nuclear division right now. What is next then? Then cytoplasmic division comes. Cytoplasmic division, you already know what cytoplasm is. Nucleus has already been divided in the previous step. Now the cytoplasm will divide. And as the cytoplasm will divide, we can clearly see that there are small amoebalized cells inside the cyst now. Okay, so there are multiple amoeba cells, small sized amoeba cells are inside the cyst now. The repeated nuclear division are followed by cytoplasmic division. The cytoplasm divides around the newly formed nuclei. The nuclei which were formed in the previous step. Now the nucleus, after the nucleus division, cytoplasm will divide and form a complete cell around the nucleus. And in this diagram, you can clearly see that there are nucleuses inside and there are cells now. Okay, cytoplasmic division. After cytoplasmic division, there are multiple cells inside this cyst. And now many amoebae are formed. Small amoeba cells are called amoebae. Amoeba and amoebae are two different terms, remember? Okay, so amoebae, many amoebae are formed. Now favorable conditions return. What happens next? The unfavorable conditions, the adverse conditions are gone now. Let's say it wasn't raining for a long period of time, so the lake was dried up. Now the rain has come and the lake is again getting flooded with water. So favorable conditions have returned. The water came back, the food came back, and everything else. The temperature, if it was very high temperature at that point of time when amoeba started the multiple fission, now the temperature has been dropped. And temperature is at the very comfortable range when amoeba can perform normal reproduction like binary fission. Okay, so favorable conditions are returning now. The cyst breaks open. When the favorable conditions come back, the cyst breaks open and many amoebae are released into the environment, right? So what happens? The amoeba breaks the cyst and many amoebae gets out of the cyst. And now many amoebae are there in the environment. So in this way, nature has made a balance. See, if you think for a while that if amoeba was thinking about dividing by binary fission, even in the adverse condition, their population would have declined. Okay, and they would not have been able to survive after that. But what nature has done, it has given amoeba a very special ability to divide multiply through multiple fission. In this, what happens? It reproduces many amoebae in a very short period of time, and it actually is saving them inside the cyst. So even if the temperature is high outside, this cyst is actually protecting these many amoebae. So in this way, whenever the favorable conditions will come back, they will immediately break open the cyst, and many amoebae will restore the population of amoeba in the environment. Okay, so let's take a glance at multiple fission. So we'll go step by step. We'll see how many stages we have gone through. Amoeba, it is normal amoeba. Whenever the conditions will be adverse, it will form a cyst around it. And first of all, it will divide its nucleus inside the cyst. Then it will divide the cytoplasm around the nucleus. In this way, many amoebae, small amoeba cells will be formed inside the cyst. And when the favorable conditions will come back, the many amoebae will get released into the environment. Okay, so this was today's presentation. If you like the content, please give it a like and share it with the ones who may be in need of this content. If you like the content, you can subscribe it, and you can press the bell icon so that you can get the notifications on time. And you can also join the online classes for board preparation and doubt solving. Even if you are having any doubt in your any topic from your biology textbook, you can drop us a message in the number which was given in the first slide. So you can straight away like make a WhatsApp message or make a call, so we can discuss it on in online classes as well. All right, so keep learning, keep growing and exploring biology. Thank you.